Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. But today I'm in my engineering role. It's Tech Day! That's right. I'm going to review the Frigidaire dehumidifier. Reviewing the Frigidaire dehumidifier for you today. You can see the little water bottle here, and I've got my bucket, and you might wonder what I'm doing and where I am. Well, so we had a little bit of rain, or a lot of rain today, or not today, but in the past week or so, and it pretty much soaked and filled the corner of my office with water. No bueno. When you see an inch of standing water and it continues to rise in your office, you might think, I've got a problem. Yeah, I had a problem. So, of course, I get outside and I dig the dirt out and get the water draining out, and oh my gosh, and get that, and the carpet cleaners, this whole drama. And the carpet's still wet. The cleaning guys did their thing, but the air is still so humid here that I was really worried it's going to start getting moldy and mildewy, and I don't want to catch some fungal disease in my lungs. And yeah. So I borrowed a couple of dehumidifiers. I've got the Frigidaire unit here. It's a 70 liter. And I've also got its little cousin here from High Point. We're going to review this one today, and then I'll talk about the High Point one in another video. But just to give a compare contrast about value and what you get with the different dehumidifiers. Now, this particular unit is, I'd say, pretty powerful. It can suck up to, well, I'm looking at the data here, up to 70 pints of water a day. How much is a pint, you might ask? Well, if you remember in school, a pint is, there are 2 pints in a quart, which is roughly 1 liter. Just like, 32 ounces there, 1 liter here. This thing can crank through up to 70 pints a day, or roughly 35 liters of water. That's pretty crazy. Now, mind you, this little tank cannot hold that much water. It's a peculiar thing about dehumidifiers in that the way they work is the higher the humidity, the less efficient they are, because they do this heating coil thing, and the water drains out, and the more they get going, the better off you are, until the humidity gets to around 35 or 40%, and then they don't really work too well anymore. These are not commercial units. These are just, I wouldn't say public units, but not commercial units, home units, if you will. If you want a commercial dehumidifier, you gotta spend a lot of bucks. I don't know the exact quoted price online. I've got links to this dehumidifier below. And hey, by the way, if you just get a second, just click that subscribe button. That'd be great. But this dehumidifier, it runs between $225 and $300, depending on where you get it. Whether you get it online or at a local store. I bought mine, or my friend that I borrowed it from, I wish I bought it. I think online at Amazon. There's a link below to there. And he was pretty darn happy because he's got a basement and it's just sopping wet. So he bought this thing and it fills up like crazy. So he let me borrow this because he's finally able to get his basement dry, and I'm dying here. So thank you very much. And so let's talk about this guy for a little minute. Let me zoom in here so we're not so far away. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, turn the camera. Cool. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plug this unit in. Very first thing to note is it's got a right angle power cord. So you need to be able to plug this into the bottom power outlet here, standard English. And of course the grounding instructions, you will die. It says wire gauge is 15 amps, circuit breaker because, I don't know, it's in water. So you got to be careful with this thing. So not too shabby. I'm going to plug this in to my power outlet and my power strip. And you can hear it beep here, so just give you an idea. This guy has an indicator, the humidity setting. It'll tell you what the relative humidity is here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. It's going to be kind of awkward, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Can you even see me? No, that's weird. All right, sorry. Failing here just a bit. Okay, so this dehumidifier has a couple of different options. One option is obviously to turn it on. It's all soft touch keypad, so over time theoretically these could wear out, but this is not like a remote control or a microwave where you're hitting this stuff constantly, so it's really not that bad. I'm hugging it because it helped me out. It's got a timer mode on here, which I've never used. I don't really care to use the timer. It doesn't matter to me. You've got a fan speed option here. It's high and low. That's all you get, but that's really all you need. And unless you need a noise reduction, I always run the thing on high because I want things dried out. I don't want to get around to drying things out. I want to dry it out now. And then a filter reset, because this thing has a filter screen in the front here, and I'll show you that in a minute. But just the basic interface, it's pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on, and it is on high right now, and you can hear the air blowing. And to me, it just sounds like a pretty strong air conditioning system. Now I'm sitting right next to it, so I'm raising my voice. But if I get away just a little bit, it's a touch loud, but you know, it's a question of people complain, oh, it's so loud. Well, in order to have a more powerful unit, you have to have more powerful airflow. That is the only way this works. This thing draws 7.8 amps, so it uses up about half of a normal power outlet in your house. So if you've got this hooked up in a microwave or a toaster or something, no can do. That'll trip your breakers. So you probably want to hook this up to a relatively dedicated circuit. I'm not an electrician. You could power some things on the circuit, but it's consideration. I can turn the fan speed down, and it does quiet it down a little bit, but who cares? I want to crank this thing up. Right now, the indicator is showing 90% relative humidity. I know it's not 90% relative humidity in here because I've got a sensor somewhere. So the one thing about this unit is it's been cruising around for a while, and I think the RH, or relative humidity sensor, has been worn out. It's probably goobed up. If I can find where it is and clean it off, it'll probably work just perfectly. It changes a little bit. But you beep this thing, it goes in steps of 5 for the relative humidity. You know, it says go down to 35% humidity. Yeah, right. Now I noticed this thing clicked, and I could hear the compressor clicked on. So this thing uses a compressor to run the humidity system. It's got some cooling coils and all sorts of technology in there. So that's one thing you want to watch out for. Is this is like a refrigerator where if you turn it sideways or upside down, like in shipping, if you get it and you get this thing home, do not turn it on immediately. Do not. In fact, I'll talk about that more in a minute. If the filter indicates that it needs to be reset it, change humidity timer. Apparently there are some units with Wi-Fi and all this silliness. Geez, just you don't want that more tech headaches. Just use the onboard keys, press it, be done with it. So as you can hear, it's just like a regular air conditioning unit. Nothing too crazy, but what it does is it definitely dries out your home, which is a definite bonus. So I'm going to shut it off here. And you don't want to keep power cycling this thing either. When you turn it on and off, apparently, just like your refrigerator, you don't want to go on, off, on, off, on, off, because that really loads the compressor and apparently it can damage it. So just a word of warning, if you do buy this and it gets shipped, you don't want to do that. So what I've done is I've already pre-measured how much water was taken out between the little high point R2D2 unit and this big guy. This big guy, over 2 nights, I'm looking at my notes here, took out 5.3 liters of water, which pretty much filled this bucket. Isn't that pretty crazy? There's 5.3 liters of water taken out by this unit. So 5.5 of these things. And it's in here. Some people complain, oh, this is too heavy. All right, hit the gym, people. Come on. It's got a tank indicator, which is nice. And then when the bucket completely fills up, you're done. And it's a little bit heavy, but you're not going to die. If you're 95 years old, get somebody to help you. When the bucket's full, you can hear the warning. Now, it's weird how these buckets are made, just the tech in them. I'm not going to tilt it upside down because it's full of water. It does have a very convenient carrying handle and some sort of indicator latch deal here. So it's not too bad. And you can see in here it's got a circuitry and all that. But the filter in here is very easy to access. You just grab this guy. It's pretty clean right now. I just put it under the garden hose, gently hose that sucker off because you don't want to let this get continuously wet. It'll get mildew. Ugh. Gross. And you just slide that back in. You go pour it out. This thing pours out a little bit awkwardly, but I think they all do. There's no unit with a nice little spout. I wish they would do that. So you just take it outside and then just pour it out. And it's no big deal. The handle is pretty easy to hold. So not too shabby there. So thus far, I mean, if I have to go buy my own and stop mooching off my buddy, then yeah, this unit's pretty darn good. On the side here, just as a little carrying handle, because it's heavy. It's definitely heavy. On the back, they have a nice cord wrap here, so you can wrap the cord around. But whoa, I'm knocking down my power here. But for those who need to run this thing almost continuously, they have this nice little spigot. I don't want to open it because it'll pour water all over my dry carpet. But you can unscrew this and actually hook it to a hose and run it out somewhere below this tank level. And you can actually continuously run this thing. So this is actually a really nice setup. This unit has the ability to run continuously. Definite bonus. So if you want to put this thing in a room or something and run it, you got to be able to hook the hose. Otherwise, the tank will fill up, the unit will stop. Got to take the tank out and pour it. So if you're in a condition where you need to run this constantly, this is definitely huge for you. It's got this little squirrel cage vent here, handles, and I'm not selling this. I'm not sponsored by Frigidaire or anything, but in its Energy Star compliant, yeah, whatever. I've been pretty happy. I've been surprised how much water this sucked out. This carpet got wet before. I didn't know what was going on. I used a fan to blow this, and it took like 5 days to get the carpet dry. This thing plus the little unit, man, a day and the carpet was almost perfectly dry. Actually, almost overnight, and the carpet was almost perfectly dry. So huge, huge, huge. I'm definitely happy with this. If I need to buy one, I'll buy one. But really, that's all you need. All this yada, yada, yada. You'll see people's discussion and long discussions. But just know that it does work pretty well. Be careful if you tilt the unit over because it has a compressor. Oil can get into the compressor somehow. So if you tilt it over or when it's shipped, don't just turn it on. Take it out of the box, stand it up, and it's got little wheels. I don't want to tilt it back here because I've got water. But there are wheels here so you can scoot it around. It works pretty well. And that's not too bad, so you don't have to lift it. This carrying handle is nice. It's pretty heavy because it's full of water. Ugh. So yeah, it's got 10 pounds of water in there on top of the compressor weight. So just like you turn it on, people say on Amazon, oh, it broke. Oh. Put this thing upright, chill out, and just let it sit and let those oils and refrigerants and whatever come back down. And don't just power cycle it constantly because it can actually apparently damage the unit. So you gotta treat it like kid gloves. It's not like your stereo system on, off. This is more like a refrigerator. You just gotta set it and let it run and let it do its magic. So I would say this is definitely a thumbs up. Sucked out huge amounts of water out of the room, kept everything dry. I even tried it in my garage. The cardboard was moist from the humidity. Put it in there, man, a day, shoo, it was crazy. Check it out. I've got a link below on Amazon, an affiliate link, so you can click and check it out. Definitely would buy this one. A couple $100, but what's humidity and mold and getting sick and having a wrecked carpet and wrecked room worth? Who knows? My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on my video. Subscribe to the channel below. Please support me on Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo. Thank you very much for watching.